I have an honor of being part of Slovene business community for now, my 5th year in Slovenia. So quite few of you I know. I also have been I had an honor of being part of Change Future Youth community for now 3 years. So here's a request I have for this next 5 minutes, is to bring the conversation together and give a little bit of insight and reflection. What is the future for us if we think about it from business perspective? So, I think it's very clear from all conversations that we're having that our challenge is future itself. That rarely before has business been facing such intense pressures. Whether we're talking about declining resources, and this is resources of every kind. Whether we're talking about increasing expectations from both sides, it's not just consumers, it's also investors, it's also governments, it's also non-profits. And rarely has these two trends, declining resources and increasing expectations, have been happening in the context of radical transparency. So as business, how do we create value with those pressures and how do we respond to those pressures? The first business response that I've seen everywhere in the world, Slovenia is no exception, is to treat these pressures as a cost. This is something that we put in the PR department, in the CSR department, in the legal department, in the R&D department. This is unfortunate, painful cost. All those environmental, social, political pressures is something that we just absorb. Too bad. And as any good business person knows, we are not very much excited by this approach, because who wants to add cost to their profit and loss center? This is not something that we would like to do. So naturally, this has not been a very fruitful discussion. Most of line managers do not relate to social environmental problems because does not help their performance. Few, however, found another business response. This is a new and emerging trend, saying, well, maybe in a kind of timid attempt, there is some opportunity here. So all those pressures, social, environmental pressures of our day, can maybe turn into opportunity. And those companies say, well, if it is an opportunity, it's very small, so let's just bolt it on. Let's just glue it on top of a company as we have it. Maybe it can be a green product in our normal product line. So we produce milk and we have one brand of sustainable milk. And imagine what consumers think when you put that on the shelf. If this is green milk, what happens to the rest of the milk? Same companies say, let's just bolt on this idea onto existing strategy. So we have our strategy, and this is a little niche that we will pursue. It's not a big opportunity, we'll capitalize it for a few years, maybe for a few months, and move on. Nothing changes in our game. So when those two business responses are there, this is just an unfortunate cost, or maybe it's a small niche opportunity. While this is the two normal responses, a small revolution is taking place. So in the meantime, while business is busy, Ibnur in Singapore, Ibnur and his team designs products like IBAM. IBAM is a sound amplifier for iPad or for iPhone. And this sound amplifier is made out of renewable resource bamboo. It doesn't have a piece of technology in a human sense in it, meaning it doesn't require electricity, but it does an amazing job amplifying sound. And by the way, they're almost getting ready to release their IBAM 2.0. While we are so busy, looking at social environmental pressures as costs or maybe small opportunity, there's also somebody as Pavel Ovchivnikov in Germany. Why is the Financial Times in Germany writing about Pavel? You see him right here? Here he is. Why are they writing about him? Well, many of you heard about the concept of bottom of economic pyramid. Of course, Deepa, being the daughter of C.K. Prahalad, is the best beacon of that idea here. Now, what do you think about bottom of economic pyramid in Germany? This is one of the most developed countries in the world. But Pavel said, well, there is a bottom of economic pyramid in education in Germany because there's a big population in Germany, very often immigrant community and other forms of communities where education is not offered. How about I start a school that will be extremely profitable, that will be elite quality school, but for the lowest economic population that we can, and revolutionizing the idea. Maris in Latvia. Maris, can you get up? Maris is engaging now 17,000 young people in Latvia. People, young kids, who are in a high-risk population. This would be criminals or future criminals, who society says, how do we deal with them? Wait, business pays taxes, then we take those taxes and create juvenile prisons and other facilities so we can control those populations. And when Mari says, well, maybe all we need to do is to ask them to do a little bit of push-ups and a little bit of pull-ups. And that's a much cheaper way for business and society to prevent crime on the streets. 17,000 kids are now engaged in this. These are kids taken from the street. They are not drug users. They are not any more violent offenders. They are creating a completely new paradigm. Now, while we're so busy looking at it as a cause, there's also Antoinette in Macedonia. Antoinette in Macedonia thought about the Roma population, many of the countries in Central Eastern Europe looking at the Roma population. But instead of charity or donation, she said, how about we look at what these communities need? For example, in the Roma community in her city, there's not one single bakery. So how about we create a bakery where young Romans could actually learn a new skill and then can transfer that skills. So it becomes a completely new opportunity. And if it is a Roma bakery, for sure she has a market immediately because the population itself, the community will support it. We also have in front of us Zev in Israel. Can I see Zev? Zev is busy negotiating a deal right now in Israel, an airport being built on water. And Zev is not an airboat builder. He had a completely different idea. If we are facing a situation where we are running out of land for farming, how about we create platforms where farming can be done on the sea? And since there's already airport being built on the sea, how about they use his idea as a pilot and attach it to existing airport? This is a big opportunity. So what I hope that we are beginning to see, that there is a way to look at these challenges as a cost. Maybe there is a way to look at these challenges as a small niche opportunity, but there is another business response. This is the opportunity of the 21st century, but we must embed sustainability, meaning that we must embed social environmental performance, not bolt it on to existing products and services, but integrate into DNA of the company, into the operations, into products, into services, into strategies. And when we do that, not only we're better at mitigating risk, not only we're better at reducing energy waste, materials use, and so on, not only we're better at differentiating our products, but we can also enter or create new products. We can create completely new brands. We can change the business context, the rules of the game. And most importantly, we can radically innovate out of the mess we are in now. To conclude, I think Peter Drucker still said it best. Every single social and global issue of our day is a business opportunity in disguise. I hope the youth that you meet here as we move on to the networking reception will give you some insight in that big opportunity. And we thank you very much.